Hey everyone, Brian from wrenchesandrides.com. It is a blast to do a lot of different modifications to your side-by-side or UTV. A lot of them are done for looks, performance, better riding, but very few of the modifications are done for safety. And safety should be one of the first things that you're thinking about while you're out there on the trail. Today we're going to take a look at the Assault Industries Quick Release UTV Fire Extinguisher Kit. This comes with a 2-pound Kidde fire extinguisher. It's Class A, B, and C, so it's rated for everything from the wood to the different fluids and anything that you might come across with electrical. So you're covered there completely, and you can find this kit at Summit Racing for around 160 bucks. So compared to what you can get from your dealer or what you can find in different Can-Am places or even Polaris places, it's fairly affordable, and it's all made with T6 aluminum, all CNC cut. It's absolutely beautiful and easy to install. But more importantly, while we're looking at this, you're looking at safety. So if you've ever been in a UTV for a long time, stuff happens. I've rolled one 6 times and been through it. It was a Polaris, and the first thing that went through my head was, how do I get out of here? Is something on fire? And luckily, I rolled very slow those 6 times. If somebody was disorientated or whatever it was, it's tough. So what I'm going to suggest to you from that experience is carry a knife. No joke. Because if you have to cut your seat belts to get out, you're going to do whatever you have to do to get out of that machine quickly. If your unit is on fire, you want to be able to get to the fire extinguisher if you can, but more or less you want to let other people know that you have a fire extinguisher. So if they're running up to you, the first thing they want to see is this fire extinguisher, but that leaves you with a lot of open issues. These fire extinguishers have a safety tab on them from the factory. Unfortunately, mine came broke right off the bat, which is a good thing, I guess, because it made me think about, how is this going to sit here and get beat up in the woods? This top lever is obviously the one where you push down and then you have 8 to 10 seconds of fire extinguishing mode, but you basically have this guy hanging out in the wind. Most people mount them right here. That allows everyone to see it, but it also allows twigs, branches, anything to hit against this top lever. If that pin were to ever fall out, guess what's happening? This thing's going to eject everything, and it's going to be a surprise. So a few things that I'm going to suggest when you're mounting it. I'm going to switch over, mount mine on the inside. Makes a little bit more sense because it's covered, it's protected from anything that's going to hit it. And I'm also going to take a dab of silicone and put on the end of this pin, along with a small zip tie that's going to hold this together, one that I know I can break, but also at the same point I know is going to hold that in a little bit better than what came from the factory. That small dab of silicone needs to be non-hardening, stuff that will get, gummy but not solid. So when you go to pull that out, it will pull out with ease. So we'll make a few modifications to this quick, but we're going to then go in and mount this. You can mount these things in so many different places. I've seen people mount them up top. I've seen people mount them inside the cockpit. It's all a matter of where you can fit it in your machine. But just remember, it's important that you don't have it facing you in case something does happen and it goes off and it would cause an accident. But it also needs to be safe from branches and anything else. Since we're going to mount this fire extinguisher right here, we have to mount 2 different tabs. One where the quick release goes into the bottom, and then the top portion that slides in, and we use this cool quick release pin. So basically first we're just going to take our 5mm Allen wrench and disassemble all the clamps. Making sure we put the right one in the right place. Slide this clamp over. After you start the first bolt, slide in the cover and the second bolt, and then you can snug them up just enough so that you can start to move them around and position them correctly. With them somewhat in place, we'll slide the fire extinguisher in. Once it's where you want it, lightly tighten a few clamps to hold it in place. And then the important part, test that this handle can pull out easily. In this case, with this hose, you have to move the hose over, but that for us is not a big deal. If someone's gonna pull hard, it should come right out even if the hose is sitting in the right spot. With it where we want it, let's tighten her up. Things to remember while you're installing this is aluminum, so tight is tight. Over tight is going to be stripped. So don't put too much pressure on there, but make sure that everything is held in place. Now these units come in different clamp sizes from 1 3/4 up to 1.875 and then up to 2 inches. Obviously there are some larger tubes on the Can-Am. If you could get a nice large clamp that would fit right on that back tube, it would be awesome. Currently not available. If you didn't have an XRS model and you just had like an XDS or an XMR, something where you don't have the big shock reservoirs up here, you have a lot more options. So you can mount this in just about any way. But just remember, if you roll your machine and you have this guy hanging on the outside, it might get hit and it could puncture itself. And that's not something that you want to have happen, or it could break and go off. Just make sure that you have it in a nice secure place, but also in a place that other people can see it. This is an easy thing to put on. Just find the right spot for you, screw it in nice with a 5mm Allen wrench, and you're set. So get out, make sure you're safe, pick up one of these units and enjoy it. Have fun riding, guys. Have a good day.